What if the most powerful thing you could do for your brain tonight costs less than $3 and takes less than 5 minutes? And the reason your memory has been declining has nothing to do with your age and everything to do with what your brain is not receiving while you sleep. Most adults over 60 have been told that memory loss is simply what aging looks like, that forgetting names, losing words mid-sentence, and feeling mentally slower are inevitable consequences of getting older. That is not the complete picture. And the part that is missing from that conversation is what your brain is actually doing every single night between the hours of sleep, and what it needs to do that job properly. Your brain does not rest while you sleep. It works harder during sleep than at almost any other point in the day. It flushes out toxic proteins that accumulate during waking hours. It consolidates the memories formed during the day, transferring them from short-term to long-term storage. It repairs damaged neurons, grows new neural connections, and resets the neurotransmitter systems that govern attention, mood, and cognitive speed. Every single one of these processes depends on specific biological compounds that must be present in your bloodstream during sleep to function, and after 60, the combination of a less efficient gut, declining hormone production, increased oxidative stress in brain tissue, and a diet that has quietly shifted away from the foods that supply these compounds means that most older adults are going into sleep each night with the repair crew showing up without their tools. My name is Dr. Darius Coleman. I am a senior healthcare specialist with 16 years of clinical experience working with adults over 55. And I am sharing this because the research on what specific foods do to the aging brain during sleep is some of the most compelling and consistently ignored nutritional science of the last 2 decades. 3 specific fruits, available at any grocery store, affordable and simple to prepare, contain the precise combination of compounds that your brain uses to repair, protect, and regenerate neural tissue overnight. I'm going to tell you exactly what those fruits are, what they do biologically, why the timing of eating them matters, and how to get the maximum benefit from each one starting tonight. Before I do, let me ask you something I genuinely want to know. Have you noticed that your memory issues are worse on days after poor sleep, or do they feel consistent regardless of how well you slept? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because that single observation tells Dr. Coleman something important about which of these 3 fruits your brain needs most urgently. The first fruit is the blueberry. And I understand that blueberries are not a surprising recommendation, but I promise you that what most people do not know about blueberries is more important than what they do know. The reason blueberries matter specifically for the aging brain comes down to a class of compounds called anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for the deep blue-purple color of the fruit. Anthocyanins are one of the very few dietary compounds capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier, which is the protective filter that prevents most substances in the bloodstream from entering brain tissue directly. Once inside the brain, anthocyanins do 3 things simultaneously that no single pharmaceutical has yet replicated in combination. They neutralize the free radicals that damage neuronal membranes and accelerate cognitive aging. They directly stimulate the production of a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which triggers the growth of new neurons and strengthens the synaptic connections between existing ones. And they reduce neuroinflammation, the chronic low-grade inflammatory state inside brain tissue that is now recognized as one of the primary drivers of age-related cognitive decline. A study published in the Annals of Neurology found that adults over 60 who consumed blueberries consistently showed a 38% slower rate of cognitive decline over a 7-year follow-up period compared to those who did not. A separate study at Tufts University found that older adults consuming the equivalent of 1 cup of blueberries daily for 12 weeks showed a 25% improvement in working memory tasks and a measurable increase in BDNF production. These are not marginal findings. These are the kinds of results that, in a pharmaceutical context, would generate front-page coverage. The reason timing matters, specifically eating blueberries in the 2 hours before bed, is the glymphatic system. During sleep, your brain activates a fluid clearance mechanism where cerebrospinal fluid flows through the neural tissue and physically flushes out metabolic waste products, including beta amyloid, the protein that accumulates in the brains of people with Alzheimer's disease. When anthocyanins from blueberries are circulating in your bloodstream as this glymphatic cycle begins, they enhance the efficiency of the clearance process and provide direct antioxidant protection to the neurons being cleaned. You are essentially giving your brain's overnight cleaning crew both the tools and the protection they need to do the job properly. Eat 3/4 of a cup to 1 full cup of blueberries approximately 90 minutes before bed. Fresh is ideal, but frozen is nearly equally effective. The freezing process ruptures cell walls slightly and can actually increase the bioavailability of the anthocyanins. Pair them with a small amount of full-fat Greek yogurt. The fat improves absorption of the fat-soluble compounds, and the magnesium naturally present in the yogurt supports deeper sleep cycles, giving the glymphatic system more time to complete its work. The second fruit is tart cherry, specifically Montmorency tart cherries, not the sweet dark cherries you find in a fruit bowl. These are smaller, brighter, and slightly sour, and they contain something that almost no other whole food provides in meaningful quantities: natural melatonin. Most people think of melatonin purely as a sleep hormone. What is less widely understood is that melatonin is also one of the most potent antioxidants found in nature. And it has a particularly strong affinity for brain tissue, meaning it specifically targets and protects neurons from oxidative damage in a way that most antioxidants cannot. After age 60, your brain's own melatonin production drops dramatically. By age 70, many adults are producing as little as 20% of the melatonin they produced at 30. This is not just a sleep problem, it is a brain repair problem, because the melatonin produced in the brain does not simply signal the body to sleep, it actively protects neurons from the oxidative stress that accelerates with age, modulates neuroinflammation, and has been shown in multiple studies to inhibit the accumulation of the beta amyloid plaques most closely associated with Alzheimer's progression. Tart cherries also contain quercetin and anthocyanins that specifically protect mitochondrial function in brain cells. After 60, the mitochondria inside neurons, the structures that generate the cellular energy required to form and consolidate new memories, become progressively less efficient. Quercetin has been studied for its ability to protect and partially restore mitochondrial function in aging neural tissue, helping brain cells generate the energy they need to perform the memory consolidation that happens during sleep. A study at the University of Northumbria found that adults over 60 who consumed tart cherry juice concentrate in the evening experienced an 84-minute increase in total sleep time per night and a statistically significant improvement in episodic memory, the type of memory used to recall specific events, conversations, and experiences from your own life. Longer, deeper sleep directly extends the glymphatic clearance window and the memory consolidation window simultaneously. The tart cherry was doing both at once. Consume half a cup of fresh or frozen tart cherries or 2 tablespoons of pure Montmorency tart cherry juice, concentrate mixed into a small glass of water, approximately 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Pair them with a small handful of walnuts. Walnuts provide DHA omega-3 fatty acids, the specific form of omega-3 that the brain uses as a structural building material for neuronal membranes. The combination of melatonin, quercetin, and DHA working together during the pre-sleep window creates a neuroprotective environment that is based on everything the current research shows, one of the most accessible and effective brain health interventions available to anyone over 60. The third fruit is the one that surprises people most, and the reason it sits at the top of this list is not because it does one thing exceptionally well. It is because it addresses virtually every mechanism of brain aging simultaneously. The fruit is the green kiwi, the ordinary, inexpensive, fuzzy-skinned green kiwi that is sitting in grocery stores everywhere right now for less than $1 per fruit and is almost never discussed in the context of brain health for older adults. A single green kiwi contains more vitamin C than an orange, but that is the least interesting thing about it for brain health purposes. The compounds in kiwi that matter most for the aging brain are serotonin, folate, and a suite of antioxidant carotenoids, including lutein and zeaxanthin. Each of these addresses a specific and distinct mechanism of cognitive aging. The serotonin in kiwi is bioavailable, meaning your body can actually absorb and utilize it directly. This matters because after 60, the gut-brain axis, the communication system between your digestive tract and your brain, loses efficiency. Approximately 90% of the body's serotonin is produced in the gut, not the brain. As the gut lining changes with age and the microbiome shifts, serotonin synthesis declines. Lower serotonin does not just affect mood, it directly impairs memory consolidation, because serotonin is deeply involved in the function of the hippocampus, the brain region that converts short-term experiences into long-term memories. Restoring serotonin availability before sleep means your hippocampus has the neurochemical resources it needs during the consolidation window that opens during deep sleep. Folate, found in abundance in kiwi, plays a critical role in a cellular process called methylation, which governs the regulation of neurotransmitter production and controls levels of a compound called homocysteine. Elevated homocysteine is one of the most well-established biological markers of accelerated brain aging. A study from Oxford University found that elevated homocysteine was associated with brain shrinkage rates up to 7 times faster than normal in the hippocampal region specifically. Folate directly lowers homocysteine, and after 70, your ability to absorb folate from food decreases by approximately 30%, making bioavailable whole food sources like kiwi more important than they were at earlier stages of life. The lutein and zeaxanthin in kiwi cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in neural tissue, where they function as both structural components of neuronal membranes and antioxidant shields. Research from the University of Georgia found that higher concentrations of these carotenoids in the brain were directly correlated with better memory performance, faster cognitive processing speed, and greater neural efficiency in adults over 65. Think of lutein and zeaxanthin as the insulation around the electrical wiring inside your brain. When that insulation degrades, signals slow, short-circuit, or fail to reach their destination. Replenishing it has measurable effects on how quickly and accurately your brain retrieves stored information. A clinical trial published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed adults with an average age of 68 who consumed 2 green kiwis 1 hour before bed every night for 4 weeks. Total sleep time increased by 13.4%. Sleep onset was 35% faster, and scores on cognitive assessments measuring attention and memory showed meaningful positive changes across the group. The researchers attributed the results to the combined action of serotonin, folate, and antioxidant carotenoids working synergistically during the sleep window, each addressing a different layer of the brain aging process simultaneously. Eat 2 green kiwis with the skin removed approximately 60 minutes before bed. Pair them with a small amount of spinach, dressed with a drizzle of olive oil. The fat-soluble nature of the carotenoids in kiwi means that a small amount of healthy fat present in the same meal significantly increases the absorption of lutein and zeaxanthin into neural tissue. This combination, kiwi and olive oil-dressed spinach before bed, is in Dr. Coleman's assessment one of the most scientifically supported and genuinely simple brain health habits available to any adult over 60. Here is the complete nightly protocol. 90 minutes before bed, 3/4 of a cup of blueberries with a small amount of full-fat Greek yogurt. 60 to 90 minutes before bed, half a cup of tart cherries, or 2 tablespoons of tart cherry juice, concentrate with a small handful of walnuts. 60 minutes before bed, 2 green kiwis alongside a small spinach salad with olive oil. The total preparation time is under 5 minutes, the total cost is under $3 per night, and the biological mechanisms being activated, glymphatic clearance enhancement, BDNF stimulation, melatonin restoration, mitochondrial protection, serotonin availability, homocysteine reduction, and carotenoid neuroprotection, address the aging brain at every level that current nutritional neuroscience has identified as modifiable through diet. In 3 days, most adults notice their sleep feels deeper and their morning thinking feels cleaner, a direct reflection of improved glymphatic clearance and restored neurotransmitter availability. In 1 week, the combination of better sleep architecture and consistent antioxidant delivery to brain tissue begins producing the kind of mental clarity that most people have attributed to a good day rather than recognizing as the baseline their brain is capable of maintaining. In 1 month, the cumulative effect of nightly BDNF stimulation, mitochondrial protection, and homocysteine reduction begins to produce the kind of changes that the people closest to you will notice before you do. Your brain is not declining on a fixed schedule. It is responding to what it receives every night. Start giving it what it has been asking for. Subscribe, and Dr. Darius Coleman will keep showing you exactly how.